Hey everybody, welcome to Matt Men, your source for all things professional wrestling. I'm Andrew Arian, and I'm joined by my cactus.
I did it.
What kind of cactus are you?
A jack.
You're a cactus jack.
This is a vintage shirt because I'm 37. I've had this for 20 years since I was 17.
Yeah, you've had that forever.
I got this and I haven't worn it in like ages, man. But it's actually kind of loose, which is nice. So I'm smaller than I was when I was 17, which is also nice. And I got this there was a wrestling store by your high school.
Yes, by Cardozo High School.
By Cardozo High School in Queens, New York, where this absolute maniac would sell all kinds of bootleg.
Hardcore Jack Sabbath. By the way, he still has his store, and it's phenomenal.
Bootleg wrestling DVDs, bootleg shirts, real shirts.
They weren't even DVDs. You remember? They were VHSs.
VHSs, that's right. Yeah, VHSs. And then I think at one point, this is when WWE had the restaurant in Times Square.
Mm-hmm.
He had like the tickets to get to the events also.
Okay.
He's like a ticket guy.
Yeah. So you used to buy the tickets for the events over there.
Right. It's so weird. It's so weird. Getting older is getting weird.
It is weird, man. By the way, that dude is still killing it, still in business here in Queens, New York, a couple blocks away from us, actually.
Yeah.
Very close to us. And I think he listens to the show.
He's the producer, actually.
Hey,
There's a window over here.
Yeah. He's just yelling at us. And also another Armenian, huh?
That's true, yeah.
Another Armenian in pro wrestling. A lot of us.
I think in general, I have not met an Armenian person that does not like pro wrestling.
I've never met an Armenian person. There's like 4 of us.
Yeah. There's a lot.
And we're not even full. We're phonies.
No, I'm half.
Yeah. Guys, we do have a lot to talk about. Yes, last night was the AEW announcement. A lot of stuff that we expected. They did a very good job production-wise with this event. I was very, not surprised, but I was pleasantly glad it went off well. Because I think right now they're in a position that, okay, fine, the fun is over. The excitement is kind of becoming a reality.
Time to work.
And the detractors are out.
Yeah.
All the detractors are out right now. So obviously we want to cover that. WWE, Ronda Rousey, Becky Lynch, injuries happening. There's a major rumor going around that a top WWE star has been offered
a crazy amount of money.
An AEW contract.
Yeah.
I have some input on this.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a patron of ours, if you donate to patreon.com/MattMenPodcast, you get access to our Discord. Now, everybody could join our regular Discord. We do live chats in there during pay-per-views. We're always in there. We're always chatting. Somebody's in there. It's actually a fun little community there. But if you fund us, you get access to the Patreon-only chat. And that's when I go on and I give you guys the dirty.
The goods.
The goods.
The dirty.
I've become somewhat of a Nostradamus at this point in that room.
Andrew puts the dirty in his dirty martini.
Yeah, I do put the dirty
Extra
in
dirty.
No, what happens is I drink a little, and then I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to spill the beans on everything.
I'm just going to make educated guesses because I've been watching wrestling for 35 years.
So I went in there. I had a friend call me, and he gave me some info. So I went in there, and I just let the guys, have fun with it. So that's what you get with Patreon. Also, we are going to be recording, since it's Elimination Chamber time. We're going to be watching the first Elimination Chamber match following the show.
Exciting. I'm excited about that.
Right after the show, we'll be watching Elimination Chamber, and you could watch it on Patreon when we're ready. So let's begin with all the news. Last night was the AEW event. Conrad is very heavily involved in this. Which
Fantastic.
By the way, Conrad is going to be on Matt Men in the coming weeks.
Don't tell me, tell them.
Brian Alvarez is going to be on Matt Men in the coming weeks. Maybe a guy that throws a couple stars out here and there. A guy that just showers matches with stars.
Like ninja stars?
Magic stars.
Magic stars.
Rating stars. He might be coming
That's
on.
Cool.
That's cool. So we have a lot of stuff in the works over the next couple of weeks, which I'm very excited about because it's WrestleMania season. This is the time, Everybody's going to be in New York also, so we're going to be doing a lot of stuff with that as well.
Yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be good stuff.
So let's begin with the AEW announcement, since that's the thing that's most recent and what everybody's talking about. The big story here, Kenny Omega, finally. We knew it was happening, but he is here. He's in AEW. He came out with the generic being the Elite theme.
Great
because
entrance,
he doesn't have a theme song yet.
That's true. Zero theme. Let me ask you.
Yeah.
Well, and I heard this from a lot of fans on social media yesterday. Was last night's 1 hour press conference not the best hour of pro wrestling in the entire week?
Yes.
Right?
Better than NXT. Let me think.
Well, you had Eric Bugenhagen.
Well, no. AEW sucks next to that guy. He does the bird call, by the way. Do you know about the bird call?
I don't know what
the bird call. I don't. If you guys have been watching Mat Men forever,
yeah.
There's an episode of Mat Men After Dark, which, by the way, are nowhere to be found at this point. They're hidden.
Suncast fucking
he buried them. Maybe we'll re-release on Patreon. But we did a Mat Men After Dark. This is years ago, and Deacon got belligerent drunk, and he came in and he did something called the bird call.
Yeah,
and it's very similar to that guy's screech at the beginning of his introduction.
Okay,
that guy is great. Actually, there's something special about him.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Eric, what's his name?
Oh, Eric Bugenhagen?
Yeah.
He does you're like, he does the bird call.
It's a bird call.
Well, I mean, you're not I think he's a musician. He comes out, he does like air drumming, air guitar. I think he's doing like a King Diamond wail, which is exactly what it sounds like.
Okay.
For you guys out there. I don't know what we did on that one. I don't remember any of those Mat Men After Darks.
Nobody does.
Can we do one after Fastlane?
Yeah.
Can we do one during Fastlane?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I want to get a TV in here. And just put the TV in here.
What if we hooked up a monitor?
What kind of monitor?
Like a monitor like that. And then
I want to order like a 50-inch
Oh yeah?
bed, but I want to be like a dad going to like Best Buy and like trying to buy a TV for cash and negotiating it.
No tax, all right?
No tax. Cut the tax.
You could put a projector on the ceiling.
I could do that.
Get a big white sheet.
And just hang it over there. We can do that also. Yeah. The AEW stuff was interesting. It was a very good hour. Very tight. A lot of excitement.
So good.
What's
your favorite part?
Apparently, not my favorite part is I found out that I lost Sonny Kiss from Capitol Wrestling.
That's right. Yeah, great signing. Very interesting. Like, I think it's a very interesting that two of their major signings, Sonny Kiss and
yeah.
What's her name?
I can't remember.
I
can't remember. I'm not familiar with
Nyla
her.
Fox.
I'm not familiar with Nyla Fox.
Yeah, Nyla Fox, I think, is the first transgender wrestler signed to a major company.
Is that true?
Yeah, I think so. I want to say yes, because I did read a couple of headlines about that, and I was like, oh, cool. She's like an actress, you know?
Okay. Because I saw someone wrote that, and I didn't know.
And you thought they were just being like weird.
I don't know if they were like trying to make a joke or not. I don't know anything about Nyla Fox at all.
Sucks that you guys lost Sonny Kiss.
Yeah.
If you guys did not know this, Andrew does production and janitorial work.
I'm the executive producer and custodian, not janitor, custodian of Capitol Wrestling.
So Sonny Kiss was with Capitol Wrestling. Sonny Kiss did a bunch of appearances. I think he was in LU for like 2 episodes.
Yeah. Sonny Kiss was our world champion,
and now Sonny Kiss is in AEW.
Yeah, very good worker.
Yeah.
Very good worker.
Like, honestly, they have not signed a bad worker.
No. Also, Aja Kong has signed with AEW.
So ridiculous.
Pentagon, and Phoenix in AEW.
Penta's the man.
SEMA.
That's cool.
In AEW. That stuff is going to be interesting with the.
Yeah.
So the other thing was they also announced that they have a partnership with AAA.
Yes.
And I find that fascinating because AAA also has a partnership with Impact. So it is possible maybe there's some sort of relationship with Impact happening, considering Cyrus is involved with it.
Yeah.
And they were trying to get Kenny Omega really bad, Kenny and Jericho. So that's another story for another day.
Right.
But
yeah. Well,
it was, I mean, the money would have been totally off. But there was conversations because Cyrus and Kenny and Jericho, they're very good friends.
Right.
So
Edmonton boys. Not Edmonton.
the
Winnipeg boys. Yeah.
So I think it was
aren't Penta and Phoenix still the Impact Tag Champs?
No. LAX, I believe.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
But they're in MLW. They just dropped the MLW tag titles.
So they're done with MLW.
For the Heart Foundation. They're not done with MLW.
Or is MLW going to... Like, that's the interesting thing, too, because, like, a lot of guys signed with MLW. Like, the Heart Foundation, Pillman Jr., right?
Dude, let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah.
That new Heart Foundation with Teddy Pellman and Davey.
It's great.
Great.
Yeah.
Really good. And I have to tell you, Teddy Hart, he is the all-time what-if story. The youngest
absolutely,
guy ever
absolutely,
signed
absolutely.
to a WWE contract, right? This guy was like 5.
Yeah.
Crazy amount of talent, really good promo.
Mhm.
I mean, does stuff bizarrely. I mean, for that time frame, for 99, 2000, when he was, I mean, young Teddy Hart, mind blowing. Just he was difficult.
He's still awesome.
I mean, listen, he's like 40 something now, right?
Yeah, I think the last couple of years he definitely cleaned up his act.
I think so too.
And I think now he's trying like super hard. You know, like that again, great story.
Redemption.
That dude
39.
That dude could have definitely been crazy on top in WWE.
Dude, and he's 6'1".
Yeah.
And a good body.
No slouch either.
You know what is funny though? When he speaks, he sounds like Brett.
Yeah.
They all have that weird heart thing. Every one of them.
Canardians, man.
Canardians.
So
I think, and his silk pajama bottoms.
That's
Teddy
right.
Hart and his silk pajama bottoms.
I don't think we have any Canadian fans, right?
We have tons.
Do we?
Tons. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. But they're all like in the near
like
the frozen tundra.
Like in the Yukon?
In the Yukon. They're all in the Yukon.
The Northwest Territory?
Where the Saskatchewan boys at?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that partnership is very interesting, and MLW is okay with this. I think they're all working together in some capacity.
Oof, it's gonna be good stuff.
You know what I
man.
think it is? I think for AEW at this point, I think they're dangling that Kenny Omega thing in front of it. It's like, well, if we have a partnership, I think that's what's happening with a lot of people.
Okay.
Like maybe Impact will be more likely to do way more with AEW because of that possible chance Kenny Omega could show up on Impact.
I think you're absolutely right. I also think like as far as competition goes, now they're really stepping it up, you know, as like with the signings and announcements from yesterday. There's such good wrestling that's going to happen, and I do think it's going to cause a lot of mainstream wrestlers a lot of FOMO, you know? Like a lot
absolutely.
of WWE guys, I guarantee you, like it's just human nature where you're like, "Oh man, they got Jericho, Kenny, Penta, Phoenix, Hangman, Pac, you know, like I want to wrestle these guys and I can't, you know?"
Pac is very interesting. Hangman and Pac. So we're seeing the card shape up, to be honest. And that's interesting. So they did the request for pre-sale.
Yeah.
I believe the pre-sale goes live on the 11th.
Yes.
Yeah, the 11th, yeah. And there were 12,500 requests by 10:15, and it went live at 10.
I think the website crashed yesterday too.
Yeah, I'm sure it did.
Yeah.
So this is they're gonna sell out that building, and I think it's fitted for like 16,000 people. If they do 17,000 people, which I think is a very realistic chance considering Vegas is a destination location, so people would come for the weekend and hang out and do stuff in Vegas. Also, the MGM Grand will most likely fill the remainder seats.
Have you been watching the not being the Elite, but the side docuseries of Double or Nothing?
I've been watching. Yes, the other
because they announced on the last one that it's 14K.
14K is the building.
Yeah, 14K in they did the seat plotting and it's capacity.
Oh, with
14K.
the stage and everything.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great.
14,000.
They could do 14,000 very easily.
I think so. I think
they'll do 14K
within like I would say 2 hours. It gets sold out.
Well, I think they're gonna. I'm very optimistic that they will sell out immediately.
Yeah.
But even if they're short, let's say 2,000 people, there's going to be 14,000 people in that building because the MGM Grand will give it to their high rollers.
Great hotel.
Or whoever wants it.
Also, I felt like yesterday I was talking about this with my wife and I'm like, you know what? Should have booked a room when they announced that it was going to be at the MGM Grand in Vegas.
I believe that was a WCW show there.
Really?
At the MGM Grand.
Halloween Havoc.
It was Halloween Havoc.
Halloween Havoc.
That's
97,
wild.
Right?
Halloween Havoc 97 was at the MGM Grand.
Boom, boom.
That's wild. How'd you know that?
Sometimes stuff just pops into my head. So last night's press conference went a good, nice, tight hour. Really, the only production problem they had was the microphones towards the end of the show. MJF, that dude's going to be a huge player in the company.
Okay, I got to see what he does there.
Yeah, great promo.
People are saying that the match is going to be with Cody. I don't know.
I think it's going to be with Conrad.
Also, I forgot Kota Ibushi is AEW bound. They didn't announce it. He's not cleared yet. He from that concussion.
Yeah.
But he will be there.
Great.
He'll be on that card.
Fantastic. It's gonna be
Chris Jericho and Undertaker cosplay.
Yeah, I'm glad he showed up like a maniac.
Yeah.
And the pull apart was well done too. Very, very well done pull apart. Billy Gunn is also like the ultimate bodyguard. Like that dude looks ridiculous.
Billy Gunn?
Yeah,
he looks good.
So gigantic.
Yeah.
He looks like King Kong.
I forgot Billy Gunn is going to be.
Yeah.
Going to be. I think they should do like a rumble in the beginning, and have all those guys show up, and have like surprise guys.
Like Cheeseburger, like last time.
Yeah, maybe.
It's gonna be fun, man.
Man, it's going to be a very interesting year for Ring of Honor.
I think Cody's opponent is gonna end up being Stephen Amell.
Cody's opponent would be Stephen Amell. I don't know.
TV's Arrow.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know if what I haven't heard that at all.
The guy from the TV. I think that would be kind of cool. Maybe Goldust.
Yeah, listen, when his contract's over,
that who is almost done right now with like WWE, let's say.
So, I've heard names.
Yeah,
it's terrible. I'm off today. I don't know why, guys. Sorry. I've heard names. I don't want to speculate those names, right? Okay. I'm just gonna list names. I'm not saying I know anything. I'm not saying I don't know anything. I'm just speculating names. If I were to take a very intelligent guess as to a big name that has the potential of going there, I would say John Cena.
John effing Cena.
I would honestly say Shinsuke Nakamura.
Okay.
Right, because he moved his family here.
Yeah.
He's not very happy.
Okay.
He is the epitome of what everybody feared would happen.
Okay.
Right? And I feel like when they said Shinsuke Nakamura, I was very surprised that he went when they announced a couple years ago. And when he went, I said, they're going to screw him up.
Awesome in NXT.
There's no way he's going to do well. They're going to screw him up. It's terrible. He won't. I don't know why he's going there. I mean, first of all, selfishly, I think it's great because you get him more exposure to him. And then I bit into it. I'm like, man, they're doing it right with him. The entrance is freaking awesome. He's kept his character. He's doing his shtick.
Yeah.
And then in NXT, I think he had a great run in NXT. Not an amazing. He wasn't amazing.
It was a great run, yeah.
But he was adjusting, and that's fine. He comes to the main roster. They came off. I mean, he looked like a huge star when he showed up.
Yeah.
And then we said, oh, let's give it time. His matches are Let's give it time. Let's give it time.
I regardless of what people say, I do personally think that it was when he dropped John Cena on his head by accident.
You think that was the beginning?
I think that was the beginning of the end. I think as much as, again, human nature, as much as we're told, like, nah, man, it's all part of the game. Blah,
it just
blah, blah.
sits there.
I think, you drop the number one dude who's still a draw, like, on his head.
I don't know. Maybe. I think what happened was they started making him talk, which makes no sense to me. And the AJ thing blew up way more than they thought it would.
Yes.
I think AJ Styles was an unexpected surprise for them.
Yeah.
He was never intended on being that guy.
He fits so perfectly into that system.
Yeah, perfect.
I do think, the more I think about it, the more I think Gallows and Anderson are jumping.
I would say Gallows and Anderson would jump. I'm almost 100% certain they would. If I were to place a smart money bet right now, I would say Gallows and Anderson would go.
Yeah.
They're not going, and everyone's like, they're going to go back to Japan. Dude, Gallows, okay, maybe, right? But Anderson has kids. He has a family. He doesn't want to go to Japan without, first of all, and his buddies aren't there anymore. So where would you rather go?
Exactly.
Work a lighter schedule, make the same amount of money, and be with your friends and be on to something that's booming.
Hang out with the Bucks.
Or would you, be miserable in the lower mid card?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I would say they would go. I would say Nakamura would be a likely guess. I don't think AJ Styles is going. I know that there's speculation as to what his contract is. I would not guess he would go. And I could listen. I if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I have not heard any kind of we're in fear that AJ is going to leave.
But this is such a cool moment.
It is a cool moment.
Wrestling.
You know what? You know what this is? 1999.
Okay.
We are 20 years into the future. This is what 20 years into the past, into the future, Back to the Future. This is what it was like. Who's jumping ship? Who's going where?
What's happening? Well, think about it. The weird thing is though,
Anderson has 22 kids.
A lot of the guys on the main roster of WWE, it seems like they signed long-term contracts, right? Now, if you're a Kevin Owens and you sign a 5-year contract a year ago, and then you see all this happening,
yeah,
does it make you wonder, like, man, like I'm locked in for another?
I think some of them have that, but the thing that WWE does really well that other companies cannot is the accommodations.
Okay.
If you're a top guy,
yeah.
Kevin Owens is a top guy,
Absolutely.
And it's treated like a corporation more than anything else.
Perks.
So the corporate structure, I think it's very difficult for some people to break. I'm not saying Kevin Owens is into that, but I think for some people that's enough to keep them there. Listen, people are talking Zack Ryder's going to go. I don't know what Zack Ryder would do in AEW. Where would his positioning be? That is not in WWE.
The only thing I could say for Zack Ryder is that he is best buddies with Cody. So there is something to wanting to hang out with your friends.
Where's his girlfriend?
And have fun.
Where's his girlfriend? Who's his girlfriend?
Chelsea Green?
Yeah, where she's an Impact.
No, she's in NXT.
Chelsea Green?
Yeah.
Okay, then
they signed her. She's the hot mess. Not the hot mess. The what was her I might be right. The her stage name, because she does like the half and half. Like she does like
yeah.
The bride and
she, I don't know. Listen, I don't know where he's going to go. I have no idea. Laurel Von Ness.
Okay.
Right? That wasn't that her name?
I
don't know whatever. You have to look at the convenience factor. So Kevin Owens is in WWE for at least another 2 years. Sami Zayn is. I don't know what Sami Zayn's contract situation is. Handshake deal. They spit in their hands and then shake their hands. Where would they be if they go there? I don't know. You kind of need. You need to see where we're at in 2 years.
Yeah.
What the playing field is like.
I got a good one for you. And this is like a stretch.
Yeah.
But I do feel like it's a possibility within the next couple of years. New Day.
The New Day going. Never gonna happen.
The three of them jumping ship.
Never happen.
To finally have that feud
with Kenny and the Bucks. I mean, maybe that would be the only enticing thing, but they're way into the system.
Yeah.
And
can we do a show on April 1st where we just
make up the stories?
Make up all the stories, but with the at the top of the show, just have a lower third that says this is not true.
Yeah, and then we could just record it. I think that's actually fun.
And just be like, Daniel Bryan just signed with AEW. Guess what?
I did that on What the Tech one year, and people lost their freaking minds.
Yeah.
They just didn't understand because I didn't break. Listen, also, you got to look at this, right? Kevin Owens is in a great situation. If he has 2 to 3 years on this contract, and AEW starts going and picking up steam, and it really becomes an entity that, it's a nice number 2, he's in the best scenario because everybody's going to want him.
Picking up steam. There you go.
Yeah.
That's what you need.
Yeah.
And it's also cool that they got like Excalibur.
Yeah. The Beep's back.
PWG, which is great. It's a lot of moving parts. I'm glad they seem like they're taking it slow. They're not making all these crazy promises and crazy announcements, but they're building that roster very, very well. I think they're going to do a couple of big talent grabs.
By the way, Excalibur is the wrong guy you're thinking of.
No, who am I thinking of?
No, it was Excalibur. Yeah, PWG.
You're thinking of Delirious.
It's Excalibur. Yeah, Delirious is ROH.
Ring of Honor.
Yes.
Yeah. Excalibur is PWG.
Yeah.
Get your facts straight.
Sorry, I think he's. I think it's in Super Dragon, right? He was partners with Super Dragon. Super Dragon's still there.
Yes.
I don't know. It's exciting stuff. So now we're seeing the feud happening. You're gonna get Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho too.
So good.
Which will be, that's a good match.
Yeah,
you're gonna get the tag team division. Obviously, there's emphasis on that.
Yeah.
So you're gonna get
best friends,
best friends, the Bucks and
Lucha
Bros.
Yeah.
Is it gonna be a 3-way?
They stepped in poop because you can't curse.
Yeah.
With the Lucha Bros, because both those dudes are main event tag team, main eventers on their own.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
like we all know how great Penta is, but Phoenix is also friggin' amazing. And there's also something about legitimate brothers who are tag teams,
Yeah, I like that.
you know, where it's like the chemistry is fantastic, and you know, just like the Bucks versus Lucha Bros is going to be amazing. Now, that being said, what other tag teams
Could they pick up?
Could they pick up to buff their roster?
That's a great question.
Mhm.
That's a really good question because I don't. Who else exists that's available?
Switchblade Conspiracy, Sammy Callahan, and Dean Ambrose.
Sammy Callahan and Dean. Dude, you know what?
Yeah,
That's a real possibility.
you never know. You never
You know what I mean? Well, let's talk about Dean Ambrose.
Yeah.
Do you feel like more and more it's not real?
I kind of do because he was on Zack Ryder podcast talking about how much he loves WWE.
Yeah, but he also said like some
Yeah.
of the writers don't understand stuff and
Whatever, man. Like I, the more I think about it, the more I think it is a work. But you're not gonna know until April.
dude,
You know.
all we could do and somebody was telling me he's like you guys are getting worked. That's what somebody wrote to me.
Who cares?
I go, first of all, it's not getting worked if
Yeah.
a press release is put out and
Right.
sent to everybody via email.
Right.
Yeah, that's a stupid work.
Mhm.
That's like a really dumb work because you're working the news
Mhm.
and you're working people that cover you, so nobody's
Yeah.
going to believe you when there's an event.
Mhm.
I don't understand that mentality of working reporters. You know,
Right.
when ESPN is reaching out to understand what's happening and you send this memo to them, ESPN does not want to be worked. I don't care. Listen, they could work, you know, the Russell Zones and Dave Meltzers and whatever. But when you start working, you know, Sports Center,
Mhm.
that's a problem.
Right.
So, and Bleacher Report, you know, that's a problem. So,
Can I tell you something
Yeah.
about what pisses me off about wrestling fans?
yeah,
Whenever somebody jumps on the bandwagon of like, yo, you're such a mark and it's a work.
yeah.
Like, what high horse
Are you on?
is that where it doesn't matter? You know what I mean? Like, that's something that does, like,
Yeah.
listen, I love pro wrestling. Makes me feel great. Makes everybody feel great. Gets you through a lot of stuff. But at the end of the day, it's dudes fake fighting and entertaining us. You know, it's entertainment. It's like a movie. Now, if I watched Spider-Man and was like, yo, man, this guy will never get rid of that black costume. It's haunting him. And then somebody next to me is like, yo,
You're an idiot.
such a mark. Like, you're getting worked by Spider-Man right now. I'd be like, yeah, I'd knife him.
Yeah.
I would knife them.
Listen,
I'd screwdriver them. Like
I-
you were
I have
talking
to
about
tell
at the
you,
beginning of the show.
So the other part that's happening now is that I've always said I hate team mentality. Like I hate the concept of I watch something or I like something, so I can't allow myself to like something else that's similar to it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like
okay.
now we're getting the whole AEW's nothing but a t-shirt company.
That's weird. Yo,
It's nothing but a t-shirt. First of all, no, it's not.
glorified indie guys. That's what people are saying.
Glorified indie guys, yeah.
Nobody.
It's just a glorified indie. It's a bunch of nobodies. And that's fine because
Mhm.
if you only watch a WWE product,
Yeah.
they are nobodies to you.
Exactly.
And that's fine. That's cool. Whatever. To each his own. But you can't crap on somebody being like, I don't get crapping on somebody's excitement. If somebody
Right.
is genuinely happy and excited for someone, I can't understand the concept of crapping on them for that. Listen, you could not like some. Like I'm not a huge fan of Impact,
Right.
right? I really the reason for me is that it got really bad and I lost interest,
Right.
and I can't fit it back into my life.
Mhm.
It just I have too much wrestling I'm watching.
There's a lot of wrestling.
I'm not gonna go to a guy that's like, oh my god, the main event was great on Impact this week, and I'm like, yeah, it's just a bunch of nobodies.
You just got work, bro.
It's just a bunch of nobodies on Twitch. You're getting worked.
Yeah.
Allow yourself to be happy. Allow yourself to get excited. We cover wrestling.
Allow
I
other
try
people to
not
be excited.
I try not to get overly excited about stuff, even if I am.
Yeah.
But listen, dude. Everything. If you don't like AEW, if you feel you watch that show and
Yeah.
it's not for you, guess what? It's not for you.
Right.
You could watch WWE, but I can't think of why you would be mad that
Mhm.
somebody's excited for it, knowing how bad current WWE TV was. This
Right.
week, WWE TV was a great example of why we need an AEW
Absolutely.
or why we need anything
Mhm.
to compete because it's only going to improve WWE. It's only going to improve the product that you love.
Right.
So you should be happy that there's
Exactly.
some sort of competition.
Exactly.
You know what I do really good? I do really good as a broadcaster or whatever.
Mhm.
When somebody sends me a video of somebody and he's really good and he's
Okay.
doing something that I'm not doing, I get that itch.
Okay.
I get driven by competition. But on the other side, I fall into and become stagnant
Mhm.
when I don't have that.
Okay.
I like competition, and I don't get mad. I look at the guy and I say, "Man, this guy's stepping up." Conrad, great example,
Okay.
right? I've been doing this for years.
Uh-huh.
Conrad has surpassed me
Okay.
as a broadcaster.
Okay.
We have a very different delivery, very different method, whatever. But the guy has surpassed me with consistency.
You know how you fix that?
Oh,
You start talking in a southern accent.
in a southern accent.
And slow your pace a little bit,
Yeah,
and then say "my gosh" all the time.
my gosh,
And then listen, man. So you'll be on the same
Yeah.
level. I love Conrad.
I do too. I do too.
But you know, like, I think there's a lot of things.
But you know what I mean? Like when somebody does well, or
Yeah.
somebody's direct competition to me, I don't crap on him. I'll give an example. JD
Okay.
from New York, okay?
Sure.
And he gets a lot of shit. He has a very different attitude with pro wrestling.
Uh,
He likes to focus on what's wrong.
mhm.
It's not my delivery. It's not my kind of content.
Right.
I'm friendly with him in person. We've called wrestling together.
Mhm.
We've spoken a bunch of times. I would never crap on him
Mhm.
or his content because it's not my style.
Right.
Listen, if that's what you want to hear, that's amazing. You have the option.
Mhm.
If you want to hear Conrad, that's amazing. You have the choice. You have
That
an
is true.
option.
Yeah.
And it only makes us all better when we know what the other one is doing.
Yes.
Same thing for WWE. WWE knowing AEW's here and they're putting on a good product and they're getting the buzz. Not that they're going to surpass WWE, but they're getting the buzz that WWE's not at the moment. For
Right.
every tweet that somebody's making about AEW, it's
Yeah.
taking away from WWE.
And they have their eyes on it too, which
course they have
which
their
I
eyes on
find
it.
fantastic. And like you said, it's the spirit of competition, but it's good and bad and whatever. The point is, don't yuck anybody's yum.
Don't yuck anybody's yum.
If WWE's your thing, that's your thing. But also, like, don't crap on WWE and then crap on all the other wrestling, because
Yeah.
there is like this ideal that does not exist with pro wrestling fans. You know what I mean? Where we'll get tweeted or messaged by people who are like in their teens or early 20s and are like, "Yo, it's not like it used to be."
The Attitude Era was awesome.
2009, bro. You know,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you're
yeah.
like, listen, you're attached to the stuff you grew up with, and
Sure.
you're attached to the stuff from your adolescence.
Do you know how
and
many
your
times I can
early
watch
adulthood.
Hogan Warrior? You know how many
A
times I can watch
million
that
all day.
And by today's standards, it is not a
No.
great match.
But it feels good because it made you feel
It ma-
purely good.
yes,
when
that's
you
what
were
I
a kid.
feel.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think my favorite matches are the same thing. Like a good example in recent memory, that Kenny Penta match, I could watch that all the time.
Very good match.
You know?
Yeah.
I can watch any Kenny Okada match. I can watch Undertaker Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
A ton, you know?
And then, listen, someone said, I can't stand JD stuff. That's fine. That's fine. You don't have to.
Mhm.
You know, the guy's doing good.
All you have to do is watch us.
There are times that I watch him
Yeah.
and I say, wow, he's saying something
Yeah.
that I agree with. And there are times that I watch and I say, I don't agree with him. But that's fine. That's how life is.
Mhm.
You're not supposed to agree with everybody all the time. And I tell
Yeah.
people all the time, too, like, I got a really nasty message from somebody
Mhm.
for this show. And I forgot what it was, a couple months ago. And they were like, I can't listen to you after you said this. I can't believe you think that.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what it was? The Charlotte stuff. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
This is a couple weeks ago. Charlotte being interjected into the main event.
Yeah.
And the guy, I'm like, dude, if that's going to make you turn me off forever, like, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's
There's two of
okay.
us, by the way.
There's two. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, turn me. No, they're watching you. They're just
Yeah.
blocking. They're putting paper over me.
I assumed most people did that anyway, and they were just like, "Why is he talking to a hand?" It's their hand.
Listen, dude, let's all have fun watching this.
Yeah.
Let's have fun with AEW in the mix. Let's have fun with WWE. It's all good.
Impact, Ring of Honor, LU, WWE. There's so much wrestling that you can't crap on everything.
I
you
don't
know?
like CZW.
Well, I
That
mean,
stuff does nothing for me.
yes, I mean like the hard deathmatch
There's
stuff.
nothing to
There's
me.
tons of promotions in Japan that are just straight deathmatch promotions, and I'm like, these guys look like they just are half ground meat at this point, you know. But we'll see what happens. Double or Nothing is gonna be their next thing. If All In was any indication of what these guys could do, who knows what the next step is. And plus, one of the best parts about them is that the fact that they have a wildly popular YouTube show that the fans get behind. Most of the promos yesterday were being the Elite related promos, right?
Yeah.
People yelling at Hangman about how he's fat, which is hysterical. You know, like can't show up in full gear.
What's AEW's Twitter? I'm sorry, YouTube.
It's All Elite Wrestling, I believe. Are you gonna watch them right now? Show's over, guys. We're just gonna start. We're gonna watch highlights.
I want to see what they drew for the viewership.
Uh-huh.
Because I watched the press conference and it had 55,000 people watching at that moment.
Uh-huh.
So I'm curious to see what they did outside of that. I think they did on Being the Elite, to be honest. Did they? Like Being the Elite does about 200,000 views.
Okay.
Per
episode.
Yeah. And that is that's a very focusing group that's interested in them.
Absolutely.
The Being the Elite episode of the All In press conference drew over 500,000. Double or Nothing ticket party, I guess that was last night, has 281,000 views.
Uh-huh.
The night after Wrestle Kingdom has 294,000. So they do about 250,000. Let's say 250,000 regularly. That's a very focusing group. You know, all those people are going to tune into their show. So now you know the core here. So on the lawn, remember I said it's around 300,000 to 500,000 hardcore wrestling fans that watch wrestling. So we're there with the number. We're okay with that number. We're gonna kind of become analysts, numbers forecasting.
Yeah.
Now we're in a situation where they need to deliver, right? We don't know right now. As of right now, I'm still going based on the deal, the TV deal that I was told is done. The TV deal's, by all accounts, it's done.
Yeah, just got to pull the trigger on it, and pull the trigger and announce it.
You just got to pull the trigger, and they're not going to announce it because of partnership deals, ads, it's things like that. There's a lot that's involved with it. It's a major TV deal. It's the biggest TV deal in pro wrestling outside of WWE.
Right.
This is far surpassing what TNA had with Spike. So you can read between the lines, and Dave Meltzer has said the same thing. It's either TBS or TNT. There is a couple issues here because of sports, because of the NBA.
Right.
So I don't know what kind of time slot. Maybe it's not going to be on Tuesdays. Maybe they go on Wednesdays. They got to go on a day that they're not going to have to kind of preempt the show.
Thursdays.
I don't know.
I wouldn't mind Saturday. Like,
so now
as a wrestling fan.
But now the other tidbit here, and a lot of this has to do with Fox as well, because you don't want to be counter programming, especially in the beginning. You don't want to be on during SmackDown or Raw. Fox has said that the Friday time slot is temporary.
Right.
The Friday night live 8 to 10 is not the set time.
Right.
They may change it later down the road, and the goal is to kind of move it. So maybe they are going to go back to Tuesdays.
That'd be great.
So now what happens 8 to 10? You're going to have SmackDown and AEW competing?
Right.
I don't think that's a good idea.
Not at all. But we do live in the age of DVR and YouTube and you know, cord cutting and all that kind of stuff. So it's like it always gets like there's always like a gray area. I do feel like the hardcore AEW fans, or like the Being the Elite guys who don't even watch WWE anymore, probably a little bit on the younger side who don't pay for cable. You know,
where would Being the Elite?
Yeah, like fans.
Yeah,
you know? Like those hardcore fans. Like a lot of people I know, a lot of people our age cut their cords. You know, like no more cable. They do streaming. So it'll be kind of interesting
how they do the distribution. Yeah. Well, I asked about this, and I was told that whatever TBS or TNT's partnership is with Hulu, it'll be reflective on that, or whatever their streaming relationship is online. You know, they don't want to give this. I mean, listen, who knows? Maybe TBS will say, you know what, we're going to air this live on our website every week. We're going to stream this live.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's so many avenues.
We don't know because this is all the TV deal.
Yeah.
We got to see what happens, you know, based on a couple things. I'm very excited for it because of competition. I'm very hopeful that they do well. I want there to be real competition happening like everybody else.
Right.
Real in the sense that we got a number 2. Not real as far as like they're gonna beat WWE. WWE's gonna go out of business.
Yeah. It is very. I wonder how like there's got to be a double-edged sword with that too.
I have to tell
because
you, though.
you have. Okay,
I
go
have
ahead.
to tell you.
Sure.
What do you?
Go ahead.
I want to ask you this,
Please.
What do you think their rating will be? I want you to take your guess
On what?
the first live show for TV.
I'm gonna give them a. I'm gonna give them a 2.3.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
2.3 million viewers.
Doesn't Impact do like
Nothing.
Yeah, I mean, like, what do they do? Like 300,000 a week, 100,000 a week?
I don't know their new ratings. They were doing around 300.
I think they'll do like over 1 million. You know, I think depending on because like once that network thing happens, you'll get the advertising for it, and if it is on a major network that features sports, you will get that wrapped up into the package. And it'll be kind of like a new thing, you know, like let's say you're watching a Laker game and then all of a sudden it's like, you know, stay tuned for this, stay tuned for that. And then, you know, tomorrow night, the premiere of blah, blah, blah. And check this out. And they do crossover. Like a really nice highlight reel. Well, just like the highlight reel they showed yesterday for OWE.
Very good package.
Then you will get a lot of views just because of that crossover turnover. Because listen, everybody watches sports. You know, there's no like, what's the demographic for sports? Like 3 years old to like 100 years old. You know, like everybody watches sports. So you know, it's for everybody. They're gonna throw that in there, and be like, oh wow, what's this? Is this WWE? Is this Hulk Hogan? Oh no, it's not. And then you're gonna get like something major over there.
I would say if they come close to 1 million, that's great. I would say if they do like 1.6 million, that's oh shit territory. I curse crap. That's oh crap territory for WWE. Do you think that would be the number for them to start like being like, whoa, okay?
Is it? But again, is it about numbers for dudes who built a lot of their fandom on YouTube?
Is it about numbers for dudes that built their fandom on YouTube? I think it's numbers for television.
Now, what if you had, instead of network, what if it was just a network-sponsored YouTube channel?
No, they got to go on a network. That would do nothing. That would the numbers would be abysmal.
But I think there's stuff that we don't know, obviously, because like we're in the future of broadcasting, right?
Yeah.
So WWE will always be on TV until Vince pulls the plug and says network only. You're paying $20 a month for Raw and SmackDown, which he'll never do. But you know, like we live in that age of watchability where I can go home and watch that press conference right now. I could pull up on the screen right now and we can dissect it interview by interview, right? So I think that in mind with these guys who are progressive businessmen, there's going to be more to whatever deal they sign and whatever deal gets made, you know?
Yeah. I do want to say I'm 95% sure it's Turner. By the way, people are speculating it might not be Turner. And the part of that deal is that Turner's paying the production cost.
Okay.
That's a big deal to get Turner Sports behind the production. That's a huge deal. And that'll be that will make the difference between why Impact failed on Spike and why they would succeed. One of the key differences. Man, Impact was I totally forgot they were doing 1.8 million those 2 weeks.
They were doing okay for a while, but I think how awful must those executives feel?
At where
TNA? for a million years they've been trying to get TNA to be the second largest company in the States.
Yeah.
And all it took was a year for the Bucks and Cody to get a deal with the Cons
to get the
and
buzz
establish going. Like an entirely new promotion.
Do you remember when TNA was starting, the rumors, the speculation that was happening?
Oh, absolutely.
That Jerry Jarrett was starting a promotion, and do you remember the first show? It was WCW.
Yes, it was basically WCW. I do remember getting the penny pay-per-views because I thought they were great and they were fun, you know. I always thought when TNA started, it was like a weird version of WCW ECW. Because you had a lot of crossover guys and a lot of crossover like talent, and they did like it was a good alternative because they let the guys get like a little loose with the moves, But the up and down of it, has anybody written a book about this?
The downfall of Impact? Of
Yeah, like
TNA?
just like the
No.
up and down of TNA of like
Maybe someone
six-sided
has.
ring, you know,
Four-sided
four-sided
ring, six-sided ring.
Hogan, Bischoff, like the
Jeff Jarrett.
the WWE guys showing up, ostracizing their homegrown talent, not paying people, the weird production, the new Impact stuff, the Billy Corgan thing. There's so much stuff
So much
that went into
turmoil.
it, you know?
I have to tell you, when I think of Impact, I get PTSD because I hear the Jeff Jarrett theme in my head. I honestly think Jeff Jarrett hurt that company so much as being a top guy.
But so did Hogan, them giving what was like Hogan's $30,000 appearance fee for every episode.
I don't remember what his deal
I think
was.
that was it. I think he was getting like 28 grand to show up on like tapings, like per taping. So if they did 4 tapings a day, this dude's walking away with like 80 grand.
Oh yeah, because they were getting the guys got paid per taping,
Right.
and then they changed that at the end. They made it per day.
Right.
So if you got paid $1,200 per taping, now it was $1,200 for the day, which kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Listen, but there are guys that stuck around there.
Yeah.
You know, here's the question though: what's going to happen to guys in TNA? Are they going to start saying like, "Well, maybe we want to look at something else"? What happens when Eli Drake leaves?
Right.
Or who's Johnny? I was gonna say Johnny Nitro. Jesus, Johnny
Ding Dong.
Impact, Johnny Mundo.
Yeah.
What's gonna happen when those guys say like, okay, I'm out?
Well, I think the double-edged sword with this is like where? Yeah, you're right. Where are they going to go? Who wants them? That's the thing.
Who wants them?
Right. And also, I think what's even worse is that the people who are locked in that Lucha contract.
Oh my God! Yeah, talk about that.
You know, so Lucha Underground has been around. This is 4 seasons, right? The 5th season is up in the air, and apparently they locked talent into like this
forever contract.
This forever contract where it was like, listen, until the seasons get produced, you can't work for any major company. Like you can do indie shows and like spot shows, I think, but you can't be on TV and you can't work with any major federation. So
is it that they can't work with any, or that they can't sign a contract?
They can't sign a contract.
Okay, but they can work there.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's weird.
So I think Joey Ryan is stuck with that.
Joey Ryan's stuck. I don't know how Penta and Phoenix are doing that. I don't know how that deal is.
I think Penta and Phoenix do spot deals.
They do spot deals, yes.
Yeah, just like Cody did with Impact, like for like the one-off appearance. And I think Penta was like a 2-time Lucha champ, and then he was like, "All right, I'm done. You know, I'm going back to Mexico or whatever." Because he did a lot of stuff in a short period of time.
I'm curious what is going on over there. Like Brian Cage, right? What do you do with him?
I could see him going to AEW easily. You know, he could be their big man.
Dude, he's humongous.
If they do big man philosophy, where like I think every company needs a couple of like really big dudes, right? I think he is bound for AEW. You know, like where are the big men on the indies? Big Cass?
Yeah, where is Big Cass?
You know,
yeah, where is Big Cass? Is Enza gonna show up in AEW?
No, probably not.
Dude, I'm watching an Impact clip right now. Just put it on just so I can see who's there. Their video, the weekend review video for Impact on YouTube, has 9,000 views.
Yeah, that's not great.
9,000 views.
Did they update their roster yet?
Yes. Yeah. So I'm looking at this. Look, Lucha Bros primed for an epic rematch with LAX, 1,000 views.
Okay.
Insane Foley House of Fun match, 23,000 views. That was one day ago. Rhino goes after Bully Ray, 6,000 views, 16,000 views, 20,000 views. These are abysmal numbers.
Yeah.
Really bad. Really, really bad. What's their most viewed video? I guarantee it's something with Hogan. If I was on the Impact channel, I'd click on most viewed views. Let's see.
I'd go a Bully Ray Aces and Eights with Brooke Hogan.
Okay. I'm going to tell you, and this speaks volumes, okay?
Hit me.
Ready. Number 1 most viewed video on Impact's YouTube channel. 99 million views. Okay? The Knockouts Evening Gown match between Madison Rayne and Angelina Love.
Was it like 10 years ago?
This is 2014.
Oh, boy.
The ring is squared. This is the most viewed thing that they've ever done. The next one 60,000. It's a street fight between Eddie Edwards and Davey Richards. That was a good match.
Okay.
Explosion match. Jesse Garders, Jesse Garders and Angelina Love versus Knox and Rebel.
Okay.
And it's an explosion match. It wasn't even an Impact.
Like a C4 match?
Yeah, it's a C4 match. Followed by ODB calls out Mr. Spectacular. Brooke and Robbie E. intergender match. 9 million views. Mask reveal. Suicide unmasked. This is does any of this make sense to you?
No, nothing makes sense to me. But Impact does have Rich Swann, which I think,
They do have Rich Swann, yeah.
He'd be a good get. Yeah. Callahan would be a great get for any company.
Callahan would be a great get for anybody.
I guess, and like Penta and Phoenix are on their active roster, which either they didn't update their website or it means that they work open-ended, where they can go back and forth between.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah. Which is smart. Because you don't want to get locked in, especially now. And I think AEW, I don't think they announced Jimmy Havoc.
They did. They did announce him, yeah. But he's doing. Is he in a backstage role or is he in a wrestle role?
No. You're thinking of Jimmy Jacobs.
I'm thinking Jimmy Jacobs. I'm sorry.
Jimmy Havoc is the British. He's a British wrestler. He's got like a face mask. He's got like crazy eyeballs.
I think they did announce him. I think I saw a thing for him. Yeah.
Jimmy Jacobs would be such a great get too.
Yeah, I think he is there.
Smart dude. No writers. I'm excited about the fact that they have no writers.
Let's see how long that lasts.
I want unscripted, insane promos.
Talking about insane promos. Did you watch WCW in like that weird Raven angle when he was a spoiled rich kid? Did you ever get into that?
I don't remember.
Okay, so Chris Canyon and him were friends. And it turns out that Raven is like this really rich kid, and he's like rebellious against his family. So his mom is like really overbearing. Dude, I totally forgot how great those segments were. I remember watching it, but I don't remember anything. I watched a great angle where Sandman comes over, and Sandman is his rich high school friend. Ravens, and he's like wearing like a polo shirt, and he comes and kisses the mom hello, and they're like, we could talk all day. Like he is like a normal functioning human being.
Was it Scotty Flamingo?
No. It's
okay.
Raven.
It's
Raven, and he's like moping around. And
I don't remember this at all,
dude.
Man.
It is so well done. I have to tell you that was probably the best thing WCW did in that era.
I do feel like Raven's character has moped around quite a bit.
You gotta watch this, and Chastity is his sister. That was the other thing.
Okay,
Chastity's his sister. The grandmother's there. Raven's mom is there.
I don't remember this at all.
Oh, dude, it's wild.
There's just stuff I black out on.
That's one of them.
Yeah, that's one of them.
Yeah, it's really weird and went on for weeks.
I black out on a lot of WCW stuff and non-main event late 90s WWE stuff I black out on, and also a lot of the oddball ECW stuff I black out on. Where I'm just like, I don't remember.
Like later on, or the early stuff in
both.
ECW?
Like when I'm like the Pipples, like I can't remember any of that stuff, or like any Perry Saturn stuff, or you know what I mean? Like like bits and pieces. It was always just like the dudes I liked, and that was it. You know?
I remember like late 97 on. I remember what my first memory of ECW was? Jenna Jameson.
Okay.
That was probably the first like thing that I remember from ECW because she was there. Let's talk about WWE a little bit.
Okay.
That promo with Triple H was really strong on SmackDown with Becky Lynch. That was done really well.
It's very excited.
I see what they're doing with the Austin McMahon thing.
Right.
And this is leading to a Becky Lynch, Stephanie McMahon SummerSlam match.
You think so?
I believe so, yeah.
You think she costs Becky the match at WrestleMania?
Oh my God. I think that would be terrible. I think that'd be a terrible thing.
Here's one thing. Like people in the chat room have been asking us, is Ronda going to turn heel?
She is now, right? She has to. She's a heel.
Okay.
Well, it depends. I think. Okay, I'm gonna get shit for this, and you tell me if I'm wrong. I think Charlotte should be in that match.
Okay.
Okay. The reason why is that it would be a better match with those three in it. It overall, like match quality, would be a better match because there's more story to tell, and you could use a little bit of smoke and mirror. I think it takes the booing heat all the heat off of Ronda. And you could do things in the match that kind of save Ronda as still like a baby face.
Okay.
If Ronda takes a pin, it's not as detrimental to her because it could have been done in a different way.
Okay.
I think listen, we all want Becky Lynch to pin her 1, 2, 3 in the ring.
Okay.
And that's the story, and she's the one that beat Ronda Rousey. But why would you give the money away when the house is already sold? Why would you give the match for free when the house is already sold?
Right.
It doesn't. You could save that match for another time. That'll be a big event.
So you're saying 3-way at Mania?
I would say do a 3-way at Mania and save Ronda.
And a follow-up with
put all
just
the
Becky
heat,
and Ronda.
and do a follow-up with just Becky and Ronda. Put all the heat on Charlotte.
I think I do feel like the ending. I do feel like it's gonna be a triple threat match at WrestleMania, right? I think the ending is gonna be a double pin on Ronda.
A double pin on Ronda.
Yeah.
Get her out of there and then do like a thing.
Well, if it's not an elimination, I would say like both of them hit their finishers, right? Or both of them hit their finishers. Let's say Charlotte lands on Ronda, Becky lands on top of Charlotte, and then Ronda's at the bottom. So it takes either two of them to pin her, or they both lay their submissions on her, and she taps out. And then that's the whole thing. Like, who did she tap out to? So then you have one more Becky.
Yeah, but
Ronda.
remember, WrestleMania, Becky has to hold that title up.
Okay.
That's the end. That's the result. Becky Lynch is holding that title up at WrestleMania, right? So how do we get there? With Ronda Rousey and her in that main event, I think it's going to turn into where everything Ronda does, she gets booed.
Yeah.
Everything Ronda does, she gets booed, and there's a risk that will backfire on you tremendously because she's not as polished in that sense. You know, when I think it's one thing to expect it to happen, but when 80,000 people are doing it, it's a little daunting. Especially for someone that kind of falls apart, right? When she kind of falls apart when
just a little bit, yeah.
It doesn't go her way. So if you put Charlotte in there, you could take Becky, you could take Ronda out really quick, and then she comes back, and maybe the story is that they just beat the crap out of Ronda, and then Ronda makes a comeback and saves Becky from the pin, and then you interject Ronda in the match a little bit. You know, you got to kind of I'm not afraid that they're going to screw this match up.
Do you think it's going to headline? Like headline?
I think it should.
Okay.
I think it should because if you look at WWE TV right now, actually we should talk about the rating too. But WWE TV right now is based on she's the main event.
Okay.
Becky Lynch is the main event. She's on both shows.
Right. Which is awesome.
Seth Rollins is not doing that.
Yeah. He's also a little banged up.
He's also banged up, which he's a little hurt right now.
Yeah.
Who else is hurt? AJ Styles, they were saying, was banged up and he had a hernia thing.
He was like, "No,"
and then he's like, "Nah, man, I'm not. Nah, man, I didn't sign my contract. Nah, man, I don't got a hernia." I like your AJ Styles.
Hey man.
Hey man. Ronda's not leaving immediately after WrestleMania.
Right.
She's leaving at one point. She's not leaving right after WrestleMania.
Everybody leaves.
You just got to listen. I'm not concerned whatsoever. I tell my wife all the time, when I worry, you worry. Like, I got it. I got this. If I'm doing something, she's like, are you gonna fall off the ladder? I'm like, if I worry, you worry. If I worry that they're gonna screw this up, you should worry. I don't think they're screwing this up, guys.
It's gonna be. I mean, like Ronda put in a big match situation. She's
she pulls through.
Yeah, she pulls through. She has always pulled through. It's the in betweens that need work.
If you were to bet money right now, is it Dean Ambrose, Nia Jax, or WrestleMania?
Oh my god, I do enjoy the fact that like Dean is putting everybody over right now. Like his loss to EC3 was fantastic. It was a great debut for EC3. Why aren't they letting him talk?
Why?
Do you think it's because Vince doesn't like his teeth?
He's a good talker.
He's a great talker. You know what I don't like? I don't like this stuff.
Yeah.
I can't stand it. Too floppy.
Maybe he has weird like weird wrist.
He's got weird wrist.
Yeah.
He had an extra thumb on his wrist. I do like. I don't know. I just feel like, regardless if the Dean thing is a work or not, I do like his positioning right now, where it's like he gets shoved out by Nia, he gets cut off on the microphone, he loses to EC3, and he's gonna be on Raw again on Monday with probably some other asinine thing. Leo Rush. He's gonna lose to Leo Rush.
You think they're gonna do that? I'm just going through some of the news here, that I had jotted down. I don't know listen, who knows? They got 18,000 matches to put on WrestleMania, so somebody will be on it.
Yeah.
Uh,
12 hours.
14 hours. Uh, let's see what else happened. Daniel Bryan, what do you think of his deal? By the way, that show had 2,000 people. That SmackDown. It was one of the worst attended SmackDowns in a very long time, and one of the lowest rated SmackDowns because of the State of the Union.
So weird.
It did like a little over 1 million. What was it? 1 point something million? 1.5 million?
Did it? Didn't even get that much?
SmackDown ratings. Let's see. I had it here. I totally lost it. Lowest rated SmackDown Live in history. Despite Triple H, there was a 14% drop compared to last week. SmackDown only drew 1.841 million.
Okay,
so it did over 1.5. Last week's SmackDown was much higher, 2.1. Listen, the State of the Union was happening, so a lot of people tuned in for that.
I do like Becky punching the crap out of everybody.
Becky just punches the crap. So they're trying to do the Austin thing, but I think, is Stephanie McMahon a bad guy? She just cares about her employees.
I think inherently, because she's a McMahon. It's like the same thing with Shane. Shane is the closest to a babyface, and then Steph always hovers between heel and babyface. Yeah. Like you had the Orton segment with Mustafa Ali, which was okay. With Ali coming out of it with a giant shiner.
Oh my god!
Great RKO.
Very good RKO. I thought it was a good match. His eye was so swollen at the end of that match. Yeah. Something else that came out this week. That the speculation of what the main event would have been came out, and it was supposed to be Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose.
Okay.
And that kind of fits more into the frustration he probab't has. Think about it. The guy came back from injury. He held off. They had this big plan for him to face face Roman Reigns, and now he's in a position that he's not facing anybody.
Right.
I don't know how true that is. I heard it was a 3-way. It was going to be a Shield 3-way.
Right.
That is what I was told. I don't know at one point if that changed or people are omitting a certain thing, but that made a lot of sense with the direction they were planning on going.
And do you think for WrestleMania it was going to be like that major event between the three of them?
I think that would have been a big event.
It would have been cool. I don't know, man. Let's see what happens after WrestleMania. Like, is this dude going to be on the WrestleMania card?
As far as I know, yes.
Do you think he's going to be injected into that Seth and Brock match?
I have no idea.
Which would be kind of cool.
I have no. That's only a one-off. I got a super user, Marv, says, love the show. Still waiting for the nudes promised to me a few weeks ago. That's what Marv is saying in our chat. Rich, did you send him the nudes?
Well, I told him that we're just waiting on the truckload of baby oil.
Okay, perfect. I don't know. I'm curious to see where they go with that at this point.
I don't know. I think honestly, I do think Elimination Chamber is going to be a lot of fun, and Mania always is a lot of fun. But with all the moving parts they have, who are they going to fit on that show?
Everybody.
They have to fit everybody. Well, you have the Andre giant battle Andre Royal, which I think Gronk is going to win this year.
Dude, he might sign. I would not. Don't put it past it. I think he might sign.
And then you're gonna have like 17 pre-show matches.
Okay.
All Buddy Murphy versus the entire cruiserweight division. Kenta.
No. Continue.
Well, what were you thinking about?
We missed the cruiserweight division. That was another tidbit that we got for AEW, that they're gonna have a cruiserweight division.
Is Guevara gonna be the spearhead of that, or is he just a champion?
I don't know.
Shows up.
I think he's gonna be there.
Yeah.
I was told when I asked somebody, they said no, they're gonna have an emphasis on the cruisers.
What would they call them?
Juniors.
Well, what if they called them like the Smallies?
The Smallies. But it does speak. It is interesting because I was told a lot of those 205 guys want to go.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
So that kind of makes sense to me now.
I would love to see Jack Gallagher there.
Well, he's one guy.
Yeah.
Jack Gallagher, Cedric.
Yes, Cedric, absolutely.
Right? Cedric, him,
The Lucha House
Metalik,
Party.
all
You
those
think so?
guys, dude, the guy is like one of the best workers. Before he signed
That's
with
true.
WWE,
Yeah.
he was considered one of the top workers in the world. And just like you watch him at all those Fantastica Mania matches in New Japan, the guy was on fire. And he goes and he's just walking around with a piñata.
Isn't it? It's so it's a little on the nose. Isn't it so weird that again, I get it. It's corporate stuff, but you had that Cruiserweight Classic, and everybody put on like 5-star matches, right? You got to see some really cool stuff.
Really cool stuff.
And then when these guys get to TV, they're like, you have 2 minutes, don't do anything crazy. Seth Rollins and Randy Orton are going to be doing the crazy stuff.
Yes, Kevin Owens is doing a sunset flip, guys. So you can't use that move.
No flips.
Well, that's a problem. You hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
Everybody does cruiser moves.
Right.
These guys would have been considered. Seth Rollins, Finn Balor.
Right.
Would have been considered cruiserweights in 1999, 1997. These guys were big. It was 225 and under, right? The cruisers.
Yeah.
Before, now it's 205.
Shawn was the only main eventer who could do a moonsault at one point, right?
Shawn and Vader.
So it's so bizarre. But yeah, man, like it's nuts how like these guys could literally do impossible stuff. And they're like, no, you can't do that because our much larger guys are doing the impossible stuff, you know?
Dude, Randy Orton used to do flips at one point early on in his career. Brock Lesnar did a freaking shooting star process.
Yeah, I think
Shane McMahon.
Yeah, I think Braun is next.
Who's a wrestler that we like? Brock Lesnar does a shooting star press and he just continues going up.
Yeah.
Shane McMahon just goes to the depths of hell.
Yeah. He just goes straight down.
He just goes straight down.
He keeps spinning.
Guys, we're gonna do our Q&A. So get your questions ready. If you want to fund us during the Q&A session, you could do so on YouTube. You could hit that super chat button and fund us there. We're gonna be answering your questions now. Also, after the show, we're recording a bonus show, Patreon only. So you could go there and fund us. You could do $1 per month now, Rich. You could do $2 per month. It's no longer per episode charge. It's monthly.
We got to set different tiers now.
Yeah, I did. I built it already.
Yeah.
We have different tiers. You get different things. You get rewards. I'm still tweaking it, but I started working on that. It looks great. Patreon.com/MattMenPodcast. You could go there and fund us and get access to the bonus show. We're going to watch the first Elimination Chamber match. It took place in 1972. Did you know that?
Yeah, 1972. Yeah. It was superstar Billy Graham, the original Sheik.
Yeah. We're going to do that right after this, the first Elimination Chamber match. We're going to watch it exclusively for Patreon. And we're going to answer your questions starting now. So fire them away. Any news on Lucha Underground? Lucha Underground is in a really weird position. Rich brought up that these guys have signed a very long-term deal that prevents them from signing contracts places. Now that, there's a lawsuit happening.
Right. Well, it could be a class action lawsuit.
It could be a class action lawsuit with a lot of these guys wanting to leave their contract because they're not making any money. It's really, really bad. Is Ronda Rousey going to turn heel? And is Dean Ambrose going to AEW? Rich, is Ronda Rousey turning heel?
We talked about that. Like
She's a heel.
Dean going to AEW? Unlikely.
You don't think so? Where's he going to end up?
I think he's going to stay.
If he's leaving, where's he going?
I think he's going to take a year off, get really jacked, show up in AEW.
Okay. All right. I would say he's going to go and do a couple indie spots and then go to AEW.
Is the overhead press or bench press a better indicator of stress? Strength. Deadlift.
I would say a gut wrench.
Yeah?
Yeah, like a dead gut wrench.
Are you talking in the gym, Adam? Or
I thought we were talking about wrestling. Mustafa Ali beats Bryan clean at Mania to take the WWE Championship. New underdog beats former underdog, yay or nay? Not going to happen.
Not going to happen.
Yeah.
I could see it at Backlash.
You know what I could see them doing with him? Do you remember that weird gauntlet world title match where Spanky was WWE champion for like 2 minutes?
Oh, like have it transfer?
I would say you're more likely to see that happen. Okay. I think that's a great idea, actually, if they did that, where you get a new champion every pin, which would be very interesting. And you would have them hold the title up, and then I can see WWE.com the internet going nuts with all these random guys, like Drew Gulak holding the WWE title. That would be interesting.
That would be awesome. Like Drew Gulak holding title is that kind of made me laugh. Will there be animosity if the executive VPs start putting themselves over? I'm sure there will be.
That's something that we don't know. Listen, fortunately and unfortunately, those executive VPs are all the power, the star power in the company.
Yeah.
So it's too early.
Is Jericho an EVP?
I don't know. No, he's a brand ambassador.
Yeah.
I listen. The reality is these guys know from previous mistakes.
Yeah.
That other companies have made. I don't feel like they have that ego, because if they did, they would have gone to WWE and demanded to be world champion. You know, these are guys. I truly believe what they're trying to do is something positive.
Yeah.
Is the AAA AEW partnership and OWE AEW partnership more than a three-way deal? I think it's to bring talent to AEW and get them exposure.
Absolutely.
I think the AAA deal will be more likely of a more in-depth partnership than OWE.
Yes.
Let's see if you really what do we? Is it animosity? Where's Lars Sullivan? That's a great question.
The rumors are that he had a bit of and he has like an anxiety issue, and they're trying to get him on TV, and they're working him through it. You know,
I think somebody tweeted for him, right?
It was him.
It was him
As somebody else.
As somebody else.
Yeah.
Is that what it was? That's
I think
hysterical.
so. I think it's his version of Abyss and Abyss's brother. I forgot what Chris Parker. I think. Why does WWE always say it's the first women's tag title? They don't.
They do. They have.
Have they?
Saying the first for the first time ever.
Right.
WWE likes to make up their own history. They've always done this.
But they're using the proper words to describe
it. Maybe it was woman's title.
Like,
and now it is the first ever WWE tag team. Yeah.
Exactly. I think that's how they're doing it, you know. Who else? What do we
do you guys think Vince, Trips are honestly worried about AEW? They're not worried, but they're watching.
Right.
Why does WWE always say it? Okay. WWF had a women's tag back in the WWF did, yes. The WWF did, yes, but not the WWE. So yeah, okay. So no other promotions did it. I have social anxiety and can empathize with Lars. I think it's interesting that it manifested now. You know,
yes.
It's unfortunately it's a terrible time for it to manifest for him.
It's a different animal going from like the Performance Center and Full Sail and knowing everybody there and getting used to that to being on the road with Raw or a SmackDown where it just seems like everybody's in your face all day with a lot of stuff.
I feel bad for him. You know what I mean? Like that if and people are like crapping on him, making fun of him. If you have a crippling anxiety like that, it's not his choice that he has that. And think about how terrible that probably makes it even worse that he had an opportunity to become a huge star in the trade that he has, and he's having a difficult time adjusting. So hopefully he gets better. I can't crap on the guy for that.
I got a good question for you.
Yeah.
What would your react? And again, this is complete fantasy. What would your reaction be if at the next AEW press conference or whatever they do, CM Punk?
That's a very good question. I'm still thinking that will happen down the line.
Okay.
If when we talk about big names, right? You need a big name. You need a big name. Who's available? Not everybody's available. Who's available? I do think a short-term thing with him will happen.
1 or 2 matches.
I think with Jericho it'll happen. I think with Kenny it'll happen.
Yeah.
But more likely with Cody. I think him and Cody will have. It's gonna happen. I know he says no, but and you got to think about the guy. I know he's very content with what he's done.
Right.
But to ultimately, when this thing picks up, to say, you know what, I'm gonna headline this main event for AEW. And then it becomes a very successful event with him on it.
Right.
That's a kind of a needle to WWE.
You think that's going to be Cody's opponent?
No, not for this.
Okay.
I don't think he's going to show up now. Maybe for when TV's happening.
Okay. I do feel like Cody's opponent's going to be somebody huge.
You think so?
Yeah.
Ryback. He's a big guy.
Oh my god.
Oh, huge like that, or
no, huge like a good get, like the Undertaker.
We already have Chris Jericho in cosplay, so
Undertaker is taking indie appearances at $25,000 an hour.
Good for him.
How crazy is that?
It's not indie appearances.
Oh, sorry.
He's doing conventions.
Convention signings at conventions.
Yeah, so it's most likely going to be a like a Comic-Con, not like an old wrestler meetup. You know what I mean? It's going to be like a big like San Francisco Comic-Con, New York Comic-Con, things like that.
Yeah. What changes do you want to see in the shakeup? Because April they're doing the Superstar Shakeup again.
Yes, in Canada.
Okay.
They're doing it in Montreal.
Ooh, very nice.
So it'll be a very hot crowd. Honestly, it won't happen. I think there should be one champion represented on each brand, and then one world champion, and you have the secondary titles take the place, and then the champion goes from brand to brand.
I agree with that. I don't think they're going to do that at all. But Marv, I'm going to get to your question right after this. I do see them again. My prediction: moving Dean to SmackDown. You know, like I think you're going to get that switch.
If he's staying, if it's a work.
I think AJ's going back to Raw. I think Becky's going to be on Raw, and I could see Ronda SmackDown.
Yeah, but what happens when what happens when you need the ratings on SmackDown? Or the brand, or by the way, the brand split is gone. How about that? Okay. That's a possibility too. They do
smush it.
SummerSlam unifies all the titles. You do a unification thing.
Yeah.
Considering the fact that your Universal Champion is never on TV anyway, they put it on a guy that never was around. So you unify everything. You have the top tier guys on SmackDown. So now you have your Roman Reigns and your Brock Lesnar's and your Becky Lynch's and your Rondas and everybody. All the top tier is there because you don't have to emphasize on the lower guys anymore. Marv with another $5 donation in the super chat. Much appreciated. You want to go to his question?
With AEW in the mix, how hard will it be for WWE to beef up their women's division?
I think the women's division is very stable right now.
Stacked.
So to kind of touch on that, there was interesting tidbits out of the ratings last week, and this is something that we've that we've touched on the show, and we've touched on in our Discord when I get drunk and I kind of say stuff. There is a little bit of a panic happening with the ratings, not as far as numbers dropping, but demos dropping.
Okay.
So the first 40 minutes of Monday Night Raw was dedicated to women's wrestling. The ratings did not sustain with women; it dropped.
Really?
Yes. The ratings with women have been dropping. Shockingly, humongously. That week where they lost 700,000 viewers.
Right.
They lost everybody that week in that main event, that women's main event. But they lost another 200 and something thousand viewers on Raw.
Right.
They're finding it very interesting that the ratings are dropping, and the theory that exists is that because Total Divas and Total Bellas is dropping in ratings, and the people that came from that to WWE, they came for one reason. They came for the Bellas.
For more.
No, they came for the freaking Bellas.
Do Bellas pop the women's ratings?
I would have never said that that's an accurate stat, but when you look at these numbers and seeing the decline in women numbers,
oh boy,
it is really scary that they're not interested in Becky Lynch.
Are the Bellas in
Ronda Rousey?
Are the Bellas in the tag?
No, they're not. No.
Huh.
No.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's very interesting. And something that they've seen happen more was and the other problem is like that younger group, like the 14-year-old, that generally stays in the last hour is gone. They're leaving the last hour.
Yeah.
So they're trying to, and the women are all gone by that. So they're trying to figure out why this is happening and why they're having a decline in women and female viewership.
Yeah.
When the emphasis is so heavily on the women, it's actually fascinating to see the numbers when you break down. And they're looking, once again, they're really analyzing quarter hours, which they hadn't done in a very long time.
I think you have to at this point, just like what we were talking about before about how like you're losing that last hour. I clock out at 10:10 sometimes because I'm like, I can watch it tomorrow.
Also, okay, here's a question: when you're drinking and watching Raw, do you stay longer or do you clock out quicker?
I stay longer.
You stay longer.
I was drinking on Monday.
That's the trick. You got to get drunk.
I stayed till the very end, and I was having fun too.
Monday, you were having fun.
I was having a great time.
Yeah,
but I think if I'm just like, what did I do on Tuesday? I don't even remember, but I caught SmackDown the other day, like not Tuesday. I DVR'd it. Yes, I still have a DVR.
Yeah.
But like, I think that last hour, like even that 14-year-old kid who's conscious about like I got to wake up for school. He's like, yeah, I'll just watch the rest of Raw tomorrow on the way to school.
Yeah.
Or something like that, or watch the highlights, or ask my buddy. I think that's like we're essentially everybody's buddy on the school bus, where we're telling them what happened. With speculation. I do think people care about women's wrestling. I just think it's tough, and sometimes it could be a tough sell. It's an uphill battle.
Sure.
But yeah, I agree with you. The Bella thing is fascinating, and you know what? It took me 10 years to start liking them even remotely.
The Bellas.
Yeah.
You can look, but you can't. Though. Jamie Hagan, $2 fund super chat. Thank you, buddy.
Thanks, bud.
So what we're gonna do? We're gonna wrap it up, right? We're gonna wrap it up, and then we're gonna do our bonus show. If you're, we're gonna get off the air. If you want to watch a bonus show, it'll be posted today. It'll be posted today on Patreon. So you could go and watch Elimination Chamber and comment about everything that happens during the first Elimination Chamber match. It should be a lot of fun. They're quick, they're easy to watch, and you can watch along with us.
Keep in mind, guys, that the first Elimination Chamber match was from Survivor Series 2002. It was the main event.
Yes.
So that's what we're going to be watching, and if you want to queue it up once it's on Patreon, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. All right, guys, you can follow us. Guys, hit the subscribe button here on YouTube. You're watching live on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button. Let's get the 5,000 subs within the next couple months. I'm very hopeful that happens. Also, you guys are awesome. I love chatting with you guys. This is great. You can follow Rich, BTC Rich. You can follow me at Andrew Zarian on Twitter. And, of course, Mattman Podcast on Twitter. We have the Mattman group, which is awesome. We have our Discord, which MG Geek will post a link for that. And that's it for this week, guys. See you all later. Take care.